It's that time of the week again for Sterlo's wrap-up. 13 rounds gone. We're in the back half of the season. Peter Stilling is in the studio with me. Hello, Sterlo.
Hello, James. Short round 13.
Certainly
unlucky for some.
Yes, just the 4 games over the weekend. Let's head back to Thursday night. A very, very cold and wet and windy Brookvale Oval. The Manly Seagulls came in without the Trbojevic boys. A few players missing for the Cowboys, and it was the visitors, 26 points to 12.
Yeah, on the back of losing both Matt Scott and Scott Bolton, I thought it was a really good performance from North Queensland. 3 losses coming into this game. Not an easy place to go to, a bleak lotto land. But I thought the home side were very disappointing as well, despite those 2 stars missing. They'd had a good month, away wins to both Melbourne and Brisbane, narrow losses to the Roosters and Raiders. So this was an out-of-character performance of what we've seen of late from Manly. But I thought North Queensland were really good. Lachlan Coote Relish being recalled back into first grade. He was great at the back. Jonathan Thurston was excellent. But the man was Jason Taumalolo, the other JT, who turned 25 the day before. And he was at his rampaging best. The most damaging ball runner I think our game has ever seen. And he led the way. His post-contact meters in this game were quite remarkable. And Manly, despite having a big forward pack of their own, just didn't handle him. And whilst Cameron Smith was the difference against North Queensland last week, Jason Taumalolo was the difference for North Queensland in this particular encounter.
Yeah, the 2 JTs really stepping up when the Cowboys needed it most, with a few absentees because of origin and injury. Friday night, the Rabbitohs and the Sharks, much was made of the hot streaks these 2 teams were on. South had won their last 4, Cronulla their last 6, and unaffected by injury, many thought the Sharks would do the job. Not the case. South Sydney, 22 points to 14 and looking very comfortable at the top end of the ladder.
They looked fantastic. What about that spectacular effort from Campbell Graham to score that try? Wonderful stuff. And just an all-round performance from South Sydney here. They've changed their style of play and really benefiting from that. I thought Robbie Farah coming in. His first game since round 26 last year was excellent. He didn't interrupt play at all. He didn't overplay things. So his deputising for Damien Cook was outstanding. Adam Reynolds is playing great football. John Sutton, game 295, pretty much in career best form. And this little piece of play here just sums him up. He's a former 5'8". His awareness of the play that's needed at the time is great. Gets the little kick in. That's taking him back to the days when he had the number 6 on his jersey. Force another restart. So he's in great form as well. Forwards were wonderful. And they just outplayed a Cronulla side that normally would have a lot of players away on origin duty. Now, they did lose Josh Dugan late, but they did have the likes of Andrew Fafita, Luke Lewis, Paul Gallen, Wade Graham, all of those guys normally associated with origin on deck. So great performance from South Sydney.
Certainly was. Same can't be said for the Parramatta Eels on Saturday night, taking on the Newcastle Knights team. This perhaps seen as an opportunity for Parramatta to start getting themselves off the bottom of the ladder. Not the case. 30 points to 4. Horrible loss for this team that is stuck very much in 16th spot.
Yeah, I thought so. The Newcastle Knights got control of this game early and didn't relinquish that at all during the course of the 80 minutes. So we didn't see a comeback looming from this Parramatta team, and that was very disappointing. The coach was quite scathing, and rightly so, after the game, Brad Arthur. Nathan Brown, very complimentary. His side were wonderful. They themselves had a lot of injury concerns. Mitchell Pearce obviously early in the season, but no Esiesi, no Nathan Ross in this game, no Jacob Saifidi. On the subject of Saifidi, Daniel Saifidi was the best player on the field. And since we showed him dropping the football against the Gold Coast, which turned the game back against the Titans, against Newcastle, his form since then has been tremendous. So a great reaction from a young player in those circumstances. As you point out, Parramatta started the game poorly. They lost Bevan French in a collision. He was HIA'd early, did not come back into the fray. So lost probably their best attacking player, and that was followed up by Mitchell Moses leaving the field. Fortunately, not as serious the injury for Mitchell as first thought, but a tough evening for the Parramatta side, and it doesn't get any easier travelling to Darwin next week to take on North Queensland.
Certainly true. With the Eels, instead of a post-season review, they're deciding to do one mid-season. Does that surprise you, or do you think it's warranted?
Well, it's unusual. Normally you do that at the end of the year and you look back, but we're doing so after only half the games have been played. But I think it's necessary. When you're 2-11, you've got to work out the things that are working for you, which obviously aren't too many, but the things that you haven't got right. And that will be foremost in the mind of Bernie Gurr and the officials at the club, just to find out where this season went so awry after being a top 4 side last year.
Can you pinpoint anything from what you've seen this year?
I think it's a mixture of a whole lot of different things. I'm not a fan of some of the recruitment, but maybe internally there needs to be some changes made. A lot of talk about a football manager. I don't know how that's being taken care of by the people there. I just think some serious conversations need to be had with the coach and everybody involved.
And Pete, we finished with an absolute thriller in the end for the 13th round. These two teams in round 1, it was the Tigers way 10 points to 8. Not so in round 13, 16-14 to the Roosters.
No, and that try we just saw there from Daniel Tupou was a bit of a killer right on the stroke of half-time against the West Tigers, who had enjoyed all the field position and all the possession in the first 40 minutes, could only register a penalty goal. Both teams really defence-orientated in this game, still working very much on their attacks. But the finale we got, I didn't quite see it coming. They were down 16-8, the Tigers, with not long to go. And they don't contribute to their own demise. They are in the contest the whole way through. And it was Corey Thompson nearly proving the match winner again in this situation here. But Daniel Tupou, first game back since round 2, out with a serious injury, saved the day there. We go back to round 1. Corey Thompson on the outside of Tupou gets over in the corner. That try was converted by Lola here to win the game way back in round 1. So Corey Thompson, he might have got him in round 1, but Daniel Tupou got his own back in this game. And we still had time for Blake Ferguson to be a hero to stop Mahe Whanua here. What about the contact there? That is putting your body on the line as both defender and attacker. Great finish. West Tigers just beaten. The Roosters still to see their best, but both well positioned on the competition ladder still. And when they get their attack starting to click, are going to be even tougher sides to beat.
Yeah, they're there and thereabouts. The Roosters and the Tigers, they were playing off to stay in the 8-2, and the Roosters get to be there heading into the 14th round.
Just.
Sterlo, lovely to catch up with you as always.
Thanks, Joe.
Peter Sterling's thoughts on a shortened 13th round of the NRL. Don't forget, Nines Wide World of Sports is the exclusive home of State of Origin footy. Be sure to join us Wednesday night, special time of 7 p.m. as we count down to Freddie's Blues taking on Kevy's Maroons at the MCG. We'll see you then.